So I want Terry Crews to stop tweeting, but then again, I don't, because it opens up an opportunity for us to talk about this mindset that a lot of the members of this society have.
I'm the librarian, and I came to read.
So let's give a little background on how we got to this conversation in the first place. If you are not aware, Barack Obama, he was speaking in Oakland, California for his initiative called My Brother's Keeper. He started in 2012 after that whole Trayvon Martin situation. And he was speaking, and some of the things that he was saying got online, got on social media, and people, of course, had some things to say about it. Now, people raised legitimate arguments saying that it kind of sounded, well, I mean, essentially what they were saying is it kind of sounded like, the whole Bill Cosby thing, pull up your fucking pants. I mean, Obama was saying, girl, you don't need to be around all these women twerking, get your life. Like, it reminded everyone of a lot of, we hear these types of conversations all the time where it's just like, we're pointing at young black boys, young black girls to stop doing this, stop doing that, instead of encouraging them to broaden their horizons and look at the bigger picture, look at the bigger systems that keep them in certain spaces, certain oppressed spaces. To a lot of people, it didn't come across like we're encouraging black boys to think about these systems and what that means when it comes to their place in this society. And I thought those were legitimate concerns. They're not the first time we hear these type of concerns. So while all that going on, a piece was written in response to this whole thing entitled, "Why Does Obama Scold Black Boys?" And it was published in the New York Times. Derica Purnell is the woman who wrote it. She is a human rights lawyer, and I'll read from Huffington Post. In her piece, Purnell argues that the former president spends too much time finger-wagging at black boys instead of encouraging them to dismantle the systems that oppress them. And to me, that's great to talk about. That's a great conversation, and it's a fair one, right? But Terry Crews, this is where it all starts. Terry Crews went up there and he said, he questioned, this is from the Huffington Post, the actor questioned whether Purnell as a woman was equipped to comment on how to raise successful young men. And I find it almost comical, because when you line that up with his statement about, oh, well, I think that paternal and maternal love are necessary in kids' lives, it doesn't add up. Like, these arguments cancel each other out. How are you going to sit up here and say that paternal and maternal love are necessary, but then question this woman, question Purnell, because she's a woman, speaking about how to raise successful young boys? You were just like, this piece was written by a woman about how boys should be taught to grow into successful young men. How would she know? And that doesn't add up with what you said after that shit. If maternal love is necessary in this fucking heteronormative ass equation, then why are you sitting up here discrediting or acting like a woman cannot give valid instruction or valid viewpoints on how to raise young men if both maternal and paternal love are necessary ingredients? Okay, that's the first thing. And I think everyone has to be very careful about how they treat the status quo. And I don't know, there seems to be this whole striving to reach a perfect household, a perfect heteronormative household. And in a lot of even heterosexual cases, that is not the case. That's never, like, there have been so many people raised by single mothers, single fathers, and to say that their kids will turn out malnourished is a slap in the face, not only to the kids, but also to the parents who have dedicated their whole lives to making sure that they raise kids and that the kid gets all the love that they have available to them, that they teach their kids how to navigate the world. While everyone is trying to strive for this quote unquote perfect family, a lot of us did not come from those homes. And no parent is perfect either. No parent dynamic is perfect. There's always going to be something to work on. To me, I think that a lot of the heterosexual community treats love like they treat some of their soaps. And what I mean by that is love, girl. But it seems like a lot of times y'all want it to be marketed like y'all want y'all toiletries marketed. It could be the same fucking soap, but we have to make sure we put some dark colors on here, put some blues and blacks on here, so we got make sure that the bottle looks manly, even though it's the same ingredients inside that shit. You will shame a motherfucker for wanting to wear some cute ass perfume because of how the bottle is too pink. You know what I mean? It's too pink for your manly ass. How dare you? I think the straight community treats a lot of things like that, but I think they definitely do treat parental love like that. Like, girl, we have to make sure, you know, get your manly shit from over here and get your womany shit, get your feminine shit from over here, and it comes together and it makes a perfect little baby, like a perfect little kid. Like, girl, all of that fantastical, all of that idealist bullshit that y'all be trying to push onto everybody with y'all agendas, because y'all are the ones with agendas, like, no shade. With y'all agendas, it don't even be working like how y'all envision it to be working. It never does. It never does. It's always nuanced. It's not a fairy tale. I think that people have this idea of this white picket fence and a mom and a dad and everything will be perfect. And we all know, even straight people know, that just because you're raised around men and women doesn't mean that you're getting the love that you need. Doesn't mean that you're getting the love that connects with you. Instead of focusing on gendering what love is supposed to look like, I think that we should try to make sure that the kids are getting the amount of love, the type of love, you know what I mean, that connects with them, that they need to grow into healthy human beings. There are so many people who have been raised with both parents in their household, knowing good and well that their parents should not have been together. Me, you know what I mean? Knowing good and well that their parents should not have been together. There are people who have been raised by single mothers, single fathers, who have received so much love and have been raised into the type of people who can't help but to give it back and to give it out into the world. There are people who have been raised and currently being raised by same-sex couples, and they are heterosexual. You know what I mean? And they are completely filled up with the love, and they had a great home environment. But I think that to have this whole blanket statement saying that, oh, well, the girls need to make sure that they are giving maternal and paternal love, otherwise the kid will automatically turn out fucked up, is like preposterous. What I find hilarious is that people are using these types of arguments to display and to back up their homophobia. And they've done it for as long as they realized that gay people actually existed on this planet. They've done it for the longest. And to even imply that LGBT people or that same-sex couples cannot raise children or will raise malnourished children is to automatically assume that placing a child in a heteronormative ass household will automatically make them nourished. So, and are we going to sit up here and act like y'all straight people have done just such a superb job at raising children that we were just going to prevent any same-sex couples from fucking doing it in the first place? Let's stop acting like the straight community has just done this amazing fucking job at raising completely perfect human beings. It's not true. And it would be completely false for me to say that every single same-sex couple will raise, you know, completely nourished children. Of course, but I'm not making a blanket statement saying that, oh, well, girl, if you don't have fucking paternal and maternal love, girl, you're automatically fucked. No, bitch, the type of love that you're getting will determine how much work you'll have to do as an adult to get rid of some of the fucked up ass tendencies that you were grown up, you know what I mean, that you were brought up with. So that's really all that should be the focus. We're trying to make sure that the love that we're giving out is actually meaningful, authentic, and it's not destructive or abusive in any way. I don't think love can be love if it's abusive. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that people interpret, you know how people think that they're giving out a love, but it's actually abuse. So like, I think that we need to get rid of all that bullshit and focus on the actual love that is being given out. I think it would serve Terry Crews well to make sure that he is sitting down and listening to what these people are actually saying, at least the constructive criticism that people are trying to throw his way. People who have that same type of mindsets are the very ones that we were fighting against for you, Terry. They're the very ones who try to make you less of a man just because you decided to handle your sexual assault in a certain way. The people who think in the same way that you're tweeting right now are the ones that we had to speak up against when you came out with your story. You were striving to make sure that people understood a very nuanced topic. And now you're up here saying things like this instead of listening like you wanted so many other people to do when it comes to your story. So I hope that Terry takes all of this and really thinks about it and sits on it, because I don't want him to go on Twitter tweeting something like this. I think it was like an hour ago while I'm recording this, it was like an hour ago that he made this tweet right here. He made this meme talking about, oh, when I say human beings need exercise, here y'all come talk about, fuck you, I don't need exercise. He was just using it as an example, a very bad one. Fuck you, I don't need exercise. I've never exercised and I'm fine. My kids can't exercise because they were hurt. So now you're mocking them. I demand that you take that back and apologize. Terry Crews do better. It's just like, we cannot compare something like exercise to these norms that y'all have dreamed up for generations and have stayed with them just because that's the only thing that y'all know. I mean, a lot of the heterosexual community continues to scream out that kids need both male and female parents in their household. And for a lot of the straight community, that has not been the case. So as I said, my only thing is, instead of trying to strive towards this quote unquote perfect household that y'all think exists when it actually doesn't, just strive to make sure that these kids, or the kids that you're raising, are getting a love that they can connect with. Heterosexual people, heterosexual families have controlled this whole planet for millennia, and this is what the fuck we ended up with. I think that if we all dedicated ourselves to getting down to the truth instead of just following the status quo just for the sake of it being the status quo, things would be a lot different. I just find this idea that this love needs to be packaged like gendered products in order for kids to be successful or not malnourished. I kind of find it just weird. I mean, because when you really break it down, there are some people who are saying that if both people don't have certain sets of biological parameters met, then they are not qualified to do the work it takes to love you as a parent. It's not making any sense to me. So I hope that we all think about that as we go about our damn week. Leave your comments, leave your thoughts, debate, because I know that y'all are, and have a good goddamn evening.